Alrighty, how's it going? Another day of coding, eh? I have been looking very much looking forward to doing this week because I have an idea, and it's interesting. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna take us a minute, at the very least. So I want to make it so that all our enemies and all our characters are playable. The problem with that is, if we have a look at the player, it has player stats, first-person controller, phone making noise, weapon controller, rigid body, hang on. This is the main part. Character control, right here. This is the main issue. So, we can move and shuffle the other things around, such as like the player input, right? That is the script that is getting the keyboard, the mouse, and the actual player inputs, you know what I mean? And this is an extension of that, which is more or less doing the same thing. It's actually catching a lot of the inputs and then just telling it what to do with them. This rigid body push is how we move around objects that are near the player, basically. I don't know. It's a weird thing. The point is, character controller right here, if we look at the mutant, rigid body. Now these two are polar opposites. They don't work together. Not really. We're gonna have to try and make them work together. How? No, we're not gonna make them work together, sorry. We're gonna remove the character controller from the player. We need to fully redo the player. So that is more what we're doing today. It was gonna be make every enemy playable, but the first step to doing that is going to be redesign the player to be rigid body based. So like I said in the description, we need to bring everything in line. Right? So as it stands now, the difference between the player and the enemies is so different that I couldn't just attach the cameras to the enemy and it just work. You know what I mean? I could, maybe. It'd be way more complicated. I feel like it'd be way easier to bring everything in line so the enemies and the character all work and move the same. And then just make it so that the camera can follow whatever kind of character I want it to, rather than making it follow the player exclusively. Either way, we need to figure out how to actually do this. So, I think I want to go possibly to a different scene. Maybe. Is that a good idea? Fuck it, let's head off to the new scene. So we'll save this one. Not the main menu, the playground. So this is the world that you get when you use URP. It's just like a little test world, as you can see. But we're going to be using this to basically rebuild the player. So, actually, before we go there, I'm going to go back to the other script, the other one. Because that's also another problem. We don't have the player set up as I was going to say a blueprint. I've been playing too much Satisfactory. We don't have it set up as a prefab. So we're going to chuck that in there. And I believe it needs this. It requires it, right? I'm honestly not 100% sure, but I'm going to take it anyway. Player cameras. Yeah. I don't know. Alright, let's head back over to that other one and see if that's what it needed. So we want to get rid of our player here and the player cameras. And we'll chuck the other one in. Can I just play? Nope. I was gonna say, there's no way there's that many enemies. Errors? God damn, I can't speak yet this morning. Alright. This, I think I want to see if I can begin here. Alright, so the problem is, it doesn't know what cam is to begin with. So it's trying to find the camera based on the cam transform. So the way we were doing this before, also, why is there so many public variables? God damn, I hate past me. He's a dickhead. Doesn't really matter, we'll fix that in a second anyway. So this is the player animation controller that's getting that. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Holy shit. I mean, all that it's mad about is that I don't have this. This cam.transform. That's all it wants. Just me go, boop. I believe. And then we're good. And then probably the reticle is mad. No? I guess it does need the cam. The actual cam transform, so maybe that's just it there. And then the reticle, weapon aiming, fine, I'll add the reticle. Where does that? That bit? See, all this sort of shit we need to fix. Nope. You still mad at me? What do you mean? What? Oh, where's that? There. Orbit cam base. I just want to get this working in here. I don't need to, really. I'm probably going to delete it all immediately anyway, but yeah, it's fine. Camera target. What did we use for that? I'm not sure. Let's go back and have a look at the other. So, the Cinemachine and the... That's just the area I want to look at, Cinemachine. Alright, where are you? Back over to the square. Save the changes. Player, first person, Cinemachine. Camera Y root and player camera root. Okay. Alright, I got that one. And then player camera root. Where's that? Where was that? I have no idea where that was. Oh, what? Idiot. Such a stupid name. Alright, that works, that's it. That. Alright, are you gonna be happy now? What else am I missing? Oh, for fuck's sake. Follow position. Alright, this is first and first person. It's gonna be tough trying to bring everything in line to work with all this. This is sort of just giving me an idea of how much we have. So I think one of them that it's looking for was just straight up this player. Now we can go over to the square and double check again. Here. So we're looking for crypto transform and first person CR follow. Down here. We're looking for crypto there, which I don't think it's really much different. And then the head. Which we were just at before. That bit right there. Alright, are we good now? No. We're still not good. God fucking damn it. Where the fuck do we start, man? It's just, there's just so much. I give up on this stupid fucking playground scene. Do I? Fuck! I'm already getting annoyed. I just coded it like absolute shit. This is another reason why we need to go back and revisit it. This is coded like a fucking lunatic. So to even do this sort of shit, we have to first unwrap the spaghetti that I coded a fucking year and a half ago, or whenever I started this project. And then try and recode it as something simpler that actually makes sense. Where should I start? Where should I start? Should I go all the way back, right? So, if I go all the way back, then I pretty well just delete this shit here and redo it from scratch. Alright, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna go take a piss and I'll be back. Alright. I'm having some ideas. I'm gonna have a Billy real quick. So, what I did think of is I think something we should do. We already have 3 different characters we could possibly use, right? We have Crypto, who is the G. We have the Mutant, and we also have the Foot Soldier. We could use any one of those. Why is my stream being a dick? And why do I feel puffed? God. I don't know how long I'll be able to, I might end up getting kicked off the internet pretty quick. Which sucks. I don't know what I'll do if that happens. I think I might just keep coding. I don't get any viewers for this anyway. It doesn't really make a difference. I like I don't know. I like the idea that I'm gonna get this to work one day, you know? I don't care if I don't, really. It's just something that I feel like I want to practice. You know? Like, even if I just get better for myself. I'm pretty determined. Bloody YouTube's being a whinging bitch at me at the moment. Can't see if it's bloody. I've got 0 dropped frames, but I'm getting a good connection instead of an excellent connection. It's not getting enough information, but it's also not losing any frames. So it's getting all the information, but it's not enough. Alright, so what I want to do, I'm thinking, is bring this all in line. So how have I explained what I mean by bringing this in line? I'm not sure I have. So something we can do real quick is to figure some shit out, not necessarily first. Where do I have these? Oh, right there, good. Thought I had it somewhere around here. So these is how the enemies work, right? The enemy, brute, foot soldier. This is also going to be the player. So the player and the enemy are going to be one and the same. They are both going to be characters. Beautiful. So that is going to be a character. A kind of character could be the player, or it could be the enemy. I want the player to be able to take over all kinds of characters. So, enemy is going to be a bit of a misnomer in this scenario. Enemy is just going to be whatever kind of character you're not in control of. Basically. So we need a way to consolidate everything important under character. And then the player itself needs to come above character. In a certain... I don't know, did that make sense? No, it didn't. I suck at explaining this shit. Let's just try and do something, eh? Alright, so the player itself has a lot of bloat currently. There's just a lot of bullshit that doesn't need to be there. That I'm not a massive fan of. So, where I might start is by just immediately getting... sorry, bloody hell. Getting rid of the player. And bringing in the mutant. Alright, and our goal is going to be to take control of the mutant, basically. So, we're going to sit him over... Zero, zero, zero. You two. Alright, actually... yeah, no, player cameras like that is fine. Alright, so I think one of the first things we need to start figuring out is this camera one. I think. So we need to get this... I think we need a player script that's can only have one instance of itself and only be attached to one character. I think I was right in saying that the player needs to come above character. So rather than the player being directly connected to this character here. So we have the brute AI, we have a weapon attached to him, we have a nav mesh and a third-person controller. We shouldn't need the nav mesh, like, for us to control it. We shouldn't need the nav mesh or the brute AI. So I think we need a character script, and in that character script there's going to be something that allows us to to set an active character. If that makes sense. So we could set the active character to this guy, and he would operate under different scripts. It would basically deactivate this and deactivate that. And then if it was an inactive character, meaning it was an enemy, yeah, alright, so I think we need to create a character script. I'm going to create a new folder. It's going to be called Characters. Maybe unnecessary, but I'm going to make this a character script. All I want it to be called. Hopefully that's not a contradiction. There's not already something called a character. Hopefully. When I'm mad? No? Good. It's one of those things that's generic enough that it could have been a problem. Okay. Alright, so a character is going to have many, many, many interesting things. Kinda. Where do we start? What does the character need? It needs to be activated, essentially. So, in this case, the mutant is going to have a character script. It's going to be its primary thing. It's going to be every character's primary script. Now, where do we start? I'm guessing I'm gonna go with a... Just for now, I'll make it a public bool is active character. And that I'm not gonna do with a capital, I'm just gonna do it like that. Actually, no, we'll do serialized field. We don't need to set it to false by default. It should already do that. I'm just predicting in the future we are going to want an accessor for it, so I'm just going to make a public accessor that is... Jesus Christ, I can't type... Let me figure this out. Is active, where it's just going to have a get return is active. Like that. So I'm just assuming and so it's going to need to set up some things. I'm just wondering whether it's going to set them up on awake or start. I'm not sure. think the fact that I'm not sure means I should just... See, like, I might not even use this entire script. God, it's so much. All that does, that entire script... Okay, no, that does a lot. Yeah, no, that's the entire animation controller. Yeah, never mind. Okay, it does a lot. We need to fix this, though. I want to simplify it. I want to take out some things. I want... Yeah, it needs fixing. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna do a start here. It may end up becoming an awake. I don't know. I do know. We'll start it as an awake. There we go. Alright, so... I guess if we want to say if is active... Then we'll do a set active character, and we'll say this. Alright, and then this I think I want to be a public static void. So that we can just call character.setActiveCharacter. And it's going to take in a character. Up here, I think I want to do a little region. Public. Accessors. And static functions. No, I don't want to... No, fuck the accessors. Static functions. We're gonna go up there. Alright. Something like that. And then active character. So could I have a static list that exists, that only one copy of that list existed? So could I, in theory, go something like public, static, not even public, just go static, character, array, all characters, yeah, we won't even make it a, we'll make it a list. A list of characters. Wait, that's dumb. Maybe. Maybe it's dumb. But I do want to... The static character that I want to have is just active character. So, on set active character, we're going to say active character equals character. And then there are other things that we're going to want to do. And then also say character dot is active equals true. Ooh, I can actually edit a serialized field because I'm technically still in that script. Oh, this is actually good. I haven't coded like this before. It's quite different to what I would normally do. Trying to expand my mind, you know? Trying to learn. Yeah, so I don't need a public accessor for that. It's fine that it's... Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so how do... So we just need to figure out now what it means to set an active character. As it stands, we're setting it active only in theory, only according to this bool and this variable here. We need to implement what it means to actually activate a character. So we can set this one to is active. And if active, then set this character to active. When we set an active character, we need to deactivate the previous one. So if active character doesn't equal null, then we want to say active character dot is active equals false. So deactivate that character. And then I think they also want a separate function down here, which is going to be on activate. Activate. Jesus Christ, I lost where I was. You motherfucker. On activation. Oh, right, sorry, whoops. On public void. On activate. Public void on deactivate. Activate. I can't spell. Shut up. Okay. And then we're going to say active character dot on deactivate. We're going to call that. And character dot on activate. Okay. So anytime we set a character, we're going to call the deactivate on one of them. We're going to call the activate on the next. And now we just need to set some shit in here. So this is going to be things like setting the camera to the character and setting all the good shit. That didn't make any sense. So for something like the AI, I guess we want to just be able to deactivate and activate the AI separately, right? Okay, so we'll probably need this third person character. We'll probably need the animator, the rigid body, the caps. We're gonna need this whole bottom thing. The only thing we're not gonna need. Let's move the brute AI down the bottom. The nav mesh down the bottom. It'd be good if I could like group these together. So the enemy AI script, the drone also has AI. So, I'm thinking we have a separate one again. Above enemy AI. Which is character AI. Jesus Christ, what are all the shit songs? No, I say we get the camera working first. So what happens now if I just press play? The mutant should just wander around, I guess. No? Ah. Ah. Be good if you could just make a script like the game manager consistent. Huh. Let's turn them all off for now, eh? Ah, and there's no nav mesh. Jesus Christ. Yeah, let's just go grab the Jesus Christ. We'll go grab the, whatever they're called. Nav mesh. Copy this, and we'll just rebake all three of them on the other scene, right? Why was that so much harder? Oh, that's the, this. I don't know what all those little dots were. Yep, beautiful. God, YouTube's always just whinging around. So what happens now? Yeah, this... I'm sorry, I'm doing it. I don't know why, but I was taught not to do this. I'm gonna do camera.main. Camera.main or camera.current? Yep, fuck it. We're doing that because it only needs to be set in the start. Should be fine. Camera.transform. Alright, that should have fixed that one. Alright, this one, what are you? Ah. Game manager, instance of the player. So I think in this scenario, the player is actually going to become the active character. So in this scenario, like, this is what we're looking at for, like, the player is the target that the enemies chase. It is the thing that they shoot at. It's the friend that the helper drone follows. And all of that is the active character. Well, will be the active character when we have this set up properly. So... this, I believe, is going to be where we say character dot active character. Mm-hmm. Oh. There's a lot to this. There's a lot to this. And as it stands, I'm not sure. God damn. So what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking as well, is character on activate. So we're setting the character to the player. It should also be deactivating the enemy AI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have another mutant. Over here. And he's going to be the enemy. So both of these should register as characters. On deactivate, it's not going to call this on start. It's not going to call deactivate on start. Sorry. It'll call activate, yes. So by default, we want enemies to be enemies. So like this. So we want it to be inactive by default. Sorry, I just put my hand over my mouth as I said that. So when we activate an enemy, we want to say if get component enemy AI but we can just do this, can't we? We can just say enemy AI equals get component enemy AI. And then I can just say enemy AI question mark dot enabled equals false. Right? I gotta do it like that, do I? Yeah, okay. Well, if enemy AI doesn't equal null. We'll say the same thing for nav mesh. I think this is also a stupid way of doing this, but we'll do it. I couldn't. Why couldn't I just go like this? Like, couldn't I just go get component enemy AI? Dot enabled. So like the problem is if it doesn't have an enemy AI thing, then trying to call false will just make it mad. I don't know. Or would that be where I do this? No? Yeah, so why didn't that work? The left side of an assignment must be a variable, property, or indexer. It is. It's a property. Oh, it's a variable, sorry. I don't get it. I don't get it. But either way, we gotta do this on the opposite. We can refine that later. For now, we're going to do that. Consolidate it to one function rather than two. Alright, where are we at? So that should stop us from getting that error. What happens? We should still get it once, actually. From the enemy on the right. Or a bunch of times. There we go. So enemy on the left, and then you over here. It's still getting this problem here. Alright, so this player it's got to get from The player is gonna have the ability to change with this new system. So we need it to be a bit more... What's the word? Adaptable than just... I guess that's not a great word, but it needs to be more... It needs to check where the player is or what the player is more than just at the start of its existence. Though it is funny, the idea that you could, like, technically take over a different robot and then just have the entire field of robots that were attacking you be attacking the one that, the old robot, and then you're just walking away. Like, Like, that's cool too, I guess. But I guess for now, where would be a good time to adapt it? So I don't want to say that it's checking for a new player every frame, which this can see player. I think here we should update the player. So I think on awake, this is going to be a character for the player. Target position is going to be player.transform.position. So we're going to need that on all of these. On start, we're going to be say character dot active character, which also needs to be a public accessor. I thought of that before. Public character active character get return active character, like that. Wrong. Public static active character. There it is. So this is, it still thinks it's transform.target. Or like player.transform. Here though. Check if targeting correct character. Actually, not even that. Just update correct character. Which is going to be player equals character dot active character. Just like that. Yep. A lot of that got mad. Where are we looking? Ah, right, other scripts. So you're taking in a... I think just these need to be updated to, instead of be players, be characters. Be dot transform dot position. Done. Engaging. You were happy. I didn't need to actually. No, you weren't. You, target, character, target, character, dot transform. Good. Enemy repositioning. Target is going to be a character. Transform tag, character, and you need to just further access the transform. Actually, undo everything we just did. But then just do... Son of a bitch. Dot transform. Wow. Crazy, aren't I? That was a dumb solution. The first way was dumb. That works. Alright. You just need to be dot transform. Dot transform. How are we looking? Beautiful. Alright. So it was player that wasn't being set to active, is that correct? So it's one, they're both coming off an error coming from both of them. I'm guessing player is not being set. Should I just increase the priority of the character script? Oh wait, is it agent that it's not getting? No. Oh, hang on. Alright, I'm back. My little sister just came to steal some coffee from my mama. So, a problem is occurring where there's sort of a race condition, I'd imagine. Maybe not necessarily a race condition. Probably is just going from mutant 1 to mutant 0. But I don't know if it's I'm guessing player is equal to null. It's not being set. So I'm guessing the mutant with that is the active character somehow needs to have a higher priority of being set to true and being initiated first so that the others know what to target. I mean, maybe they... Like, in the actual game, it's going to start off with only one character spawned anyway. And I got myself a drink. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm missing. Alright, so when it does that call, in here, debug.log player equals null. So we should get 2 debugs of true. But at this point it should have done the awake from enemy upgrade, and it should have at least one active character. Maybe we can just make character have specifically a higher load time. Because it is important. I reckon it should be loaded just after the game manager. Where do we do specific load times? Script execution order? Right here. So default time is there. Game manager is up there. We want to add another one. Jesus. You want to add another one that is the character. And I think we want it to be just there, just after game manager. And I wonder if that works. Okay, well, we didn't get errors. Also, what's going on with you, brother? Wait. You should just be chasing me. Shit. I mean, it's recognizing the active character, which is good. We're getting there. Why is that enemy not recognizing ground? That's odd. Play again. What are you doing? What? Oh, no, you know the hips don't lie. Why? Why? Why would you do this? I don't get it. Why? Do you start off not grounded or something? Should I be putting you in the air? Nope. What you doing? Why are you doing that? Sorry. Is it because the ground's not called ground in this place? Ground? Does that make you happier? No? What the fuck? The nav mesh shouldn't have a problem. So it's not getting grounded. You'd be checking for grounded in here. It's defaulting to ground. Default and ground. This is the same character. This these settings aren't changed. On ground is immediately being set to false. So I'm on the ground. Why am I on the ground? The active character's on the ground. Why aren't you grounded? Why? Why? You don't make sense, boy. My God, boy. And why does boy sound vaguely racist? Sorry. My bad. I still don't get why this isn't working though. Why? Why must you do this to me? Why? Just don't get it. It should be fine. Whether it's... Okay, so I'm guessing in the character... It's going to be in the character controller script, right? Ground check status, or check ground status. Is it hitting himself? Wait, so what's the mask for? Oh, to not bonk your head on the roof. Should I... No way, right? No, okay, good. I was gonna say, that wouldn't make sense. So why would it work in the other one? No, it's weird. It's specifically something to do with the... nav mesh, isn't it? No. No. Why the fuck is it doing this? Is it grounded in there? No. My boy's saying he's not grounded either, but because I'm not moving, it doesn't matter. Huh. No, fuck. That's it. He was just having trouble seeing the ground. It's because he's floating fucking a foot off the ground. Why are you floating so high? Hang on, put that back to what it was. And then you son of a bitch, why are you floating so high? Okay, stop. No, fuck, I just meant to pause it. Alright. This nerve... Go away. Why are you floating? What? Is it because the colliders are just set up so shit? Yeah, I don't get why it floats on this one. Alright, I'll set it back to 0.3. Alright, now we have a clean... is the brute one higher? Yeah, why is that? Yeah, that's weird. The nav mesh is baking wrong. It's baking with a height. What? That's a... what? Unity nav mesh baking height? I don't have other settings for it, do I? Is there special nav mesh settings? I don't know. Hmm. Modify the nav mesh agent offset. Huh, I wonder... yeah, alright, so it might just be that because of the amount of detail in this area, or this map. So how do I change the voxel sizes? Where's that? Where are those settings? Found them. Is there a better way to actually set that somewhere, though? Like, just to set it across the whole thing? I'm gonna add that. Add the height mesh. So take that out and build a height mesh. Does that work? If I then make sure this is all set to 0.2 again. I didn't rebake it, did I? Maybe. I think I did. Yeah, I think that worked. I think this one takes a while because it's so narrow. There we go. That'll do. That'll do. And we can just hide gizmos again. Beautiful. Alright, so that works. We fixed the height issue. So now, if we could move around, which we can't, we'd be chased properly. Isn't that wonderful? Alright. So what now? What now, hey? So we want the camera to be able to focus on the active character. I think that will be important. Whoops, wrong one. So how would we do that? We have a... How does the camera work to begin with? Let's figure that out. So we got first person, third person. I mean, I'm guessing they have slight differences. Alright. So the main part that we're going to have to figure out, everything else here is quite nice. The only thing we're going to have to figure out is this targets shit. We're going to be able to zip between different targets. I'm not going to question the scripting in this. It's not great. I'm just going to ignore it. And we're going to figure out how to... So target's there. We're setting which one we want to do. And then updating the position. Yep, okay, cool. I guess. So this needs to know, or this needs to have a reference to the active character. Or the character needs to have a reference to the camera manager and set itself as the followable thing. So stretching. So this follow position malarkey right over here, this is what determines essentially first or third person. This switches between the actual cameras. This determines how they work. So I'm thinking we maybe need, we could even just change how all of this works so that every character has its own virtual camera. Because we're using Cinemachine, which uses not much overhead. So I could I not just permanently set up virtual cameras for everything? Or would that be too much? Would that be too much? That might be too much. Because I was thinking, the way we've got it set up now is we have a first and a third person follow. Two very different abilities. And bridging the gap between the... Rack, you're distracting me. What are you doing? No, buddy, I'm trying to do shit. No, you gotta go away. I'm trying to think and you're way too fucking distracting. I can't do both. My brain's too ADHD. I can't think of that many things. I've already completely lost my train of thought of what I was doing. You're an asshole. God damn it, I'll have a Billy then. Fuck it. Yeah, so every character needs a different way of handling a camera. Or multiple cameras. So I don't know if this is going to be necessary, but what if we, like, have a scenario where we want to control the drone? You know? I imagine the drone probably... it could also have a first person, you know? I was thinking just third person, but... Or maybe it only has a first person. You could do it that way too. So that controlling the drone is only first person. Maybe? Maybe. I do love the idea that in a world where this becomes a successful game, there's just like the entire build history of me making it sit near smoking cones with no one watching. Alright, Alright. Let's figure this out. So first of all, I want to rename this to Camera Manager. And it's going to be beautiful. Right? It's going to have one main camera. These other two, three, good counting. Going to be, sure. So I'm thinking every character needs to have camera positions. And I'm thinking that it might be an idea to use virtual cameras. Let's check. Unity, Cinemachine. How many virtual cameras is good? That's fine. So what if we just had a shitload? No. It needs more of a, it's more of a position thing, isn't it? Like it doesn't give a fuck about rotation and camera behavior. We can add more camera stuff later. So I think this follow position maybe even needs to just get removed. And we'll just incorporate it into the camera controller. Let's have a look. So if we go back into this, follow position. I also want to check this one here. Look, third person settings here. None of these are being used anymore. Those are these ones. So they don't need to be there. Get rid of those. So the virtual cameras, we're going to have a first person camera. We're going to have a third person camera. So the only thing that's going to be different between those two are going to be FOVs and shit like that. And the way they behave when following. This is almost certainly redundant. Okay, so these follow targets are going to be on the characters. So each character we're going to have header, character settings, yeah, we'll just move this down. And we'll call this one camera settings. And it's going to have a serialized field of what we don't have available yet, which is a follow target. So that needs to exist, and it doesn't yet. Not in the way that it should. It exists as a local class to this. Okay, yeah. Yep, alright. We'll make that as a new class. Scripts, what do we got? Player? Utilities? We're going to call it a follow camera target just a camera target, maybe. Yeah. So in every camera target is going to have basically this. Serialized field. We don't need them to be public. That get position is going to be handy. It doesn't need to inherit from a mono behavior. So the camera manager and the character are going to need access to this class, which is why we've separated it. This follow position class is going to be dissolved. I don't like it. I don't want it. So we're going to merge them all. So this is going to be bridged to here with this camera target. So a character, every character is going to have a list of camera targets. Is it necessary to have a list? Is there ever going to be a scenario where we have 3 different kinds of camera angles. Like, we're not going to do first, second, and third. You know? It's just going to be first or third. No matter what you're controlling. So I think we're just going to do with 2 follows. Camera target. First person target. And then third person target. Alright, mutant 1. Hang on, that was meant to go on character. Ah, camera target. System dot serializable, so that it can actually show up in the inspector. There it is. Alright, we'll set it up for this guy over here. So first person is always going to be the head, right? It's mostly the position we care about, I think. So we're going to go with head. And I think for that, we'll just go itself. What are we missing? So the follow position is just taking in those 2. So we want to just take that into here. Update camera position. Where was that being called from? Hang on, wait, what? It was being called here in the late update function. So for now, I'm going to say late update. Update camera position, basically. Actually, no. Actually, yes. We gotta keep them quite, like, independent of each other. So the way that was working before was it was coming from the first-person controller, which won't exist soon. Eventually. There's a lot we gotta do. No, this is actually... That was actually fairly decent code, the follow position one that I had, the way that I had that set up. How did that work? So I think I might just set that up the exact same. Because the switching between back and forth was... The math was nice. I did like that. What did it look like here? First person, third person. Alright. Makes sense. Yeah, let's just redo that. That was sweet. So the character will have an array of camera targets. Cam targets. What's this moving? Okay, it's moving itself. Which is the camera Y pivot. Which is just going to be the camera root. Camera manager is just going to take that in as a transform. And it's going to say cam root dot position equals pos. Alright, that is what's going to happen here. So we need some variables. Move timer. One. Target index, previous index. We're going to need those. Take that as well, I guess. You know, we'll grab these cam targets and set them to... These ones. Alright, that. What are we missing? Switch duration. What else? Current cam targets. Current cam targets there. Update camera. Maybe we don't need to call that. Okay. So what's this doing currently? Who knows? It's not giving me errors though. So what I think I need to do is on this active character shit, we're going to add another little void here. Before we do this, we're just going to write another one called toggle AI, which is going to be bool state and we're going to do this. If we want to turn it off or we want to turn it on. Then we want to say toggle AI true. Jesus Christ, what's that? Is that a bike or something out there that sounds like it's dying as it rides past? Probably me neighbor. Alright, so toggle AI, on activate, when we will set it to an active character, we want the AI to turn off, and then when we deactivate it, we want it to turn back on again, I guess. When we activate it, we also want to set its camera targets. So we want to set camera targets to this. To these ones. Which should work. Alright, so where would we do that? In here, I guess we could say camera manager.instance .set or update camera positions or something like that. Yeah. So we'll just say public void Update, or no, set camera positions with an O. And then it's going to take in an array of cam positions, an array of camera targets. What do they call again? Cam targets. And then we'll say current cam targets equal. I fucking blocked my mouth again when I did that instead of muting the microphone. Equals cam targets. Basically. So then from the character, when we activate it, we can say camera manager dot instance dot set camera positions. It should be set camera targets. And we'll set it to cam targets. Beautiful. That one here, rename it to something better. Beautiful. So now, when we activate a character, we should set these camera targets to the appropriate things. Where does that normally get called from? Toggle active camera. This we'll have to figure out as well. What was that? No idea what that was. So what? Okay. This toggle active camera. Where was that? Ah, the set index function. We need that. Sorry. Oop. Okay, yep, so that's going to move it to the next one. So, also, an idea I just had. So, as it is here, when we invert it, what if we were to do, instead of equals that, we'll say 1 minus move timer. So we essentially invert it around the 1. So if we're halfway there, or if we're, like, say we're 90% of the way to the move timer, right? If we invert it, yeah. That should be a value between 0 and 1. So if we can, yeah. I'm not going to be able to explain that properly with my brain, but that should work. Hopefully. Yeah, so we need to be able to set index. First person equals that. Third person equals the other one. Okay, good. Okay, the only thing we're not doing is updating the move timer. And the timer was getting updated where? Oh, just in the update method. Just do it before we do the update, and it should be the same. We could either do the update method and then the late update, or we could just put it at the start of the update method. The late update method. It should have the same effect. Yeah, no, this is, we're just gonna comment that one out for now. Okay, you. Give me 2 cam targets. Okay, one's gonna be your head. With 0 offset. And one's gonna be you. With about 1.6 offset. Alright, what are we missing? That can go away. Alright, what happens? If cam targets, current cam targets equals null, then return. I'm getting worse and worse at explaining my thought process already. It's only been 2 hours, God. Okay, what are you mad at there? Ah. So the camera manager hasn't been set to an instance at that point in time. Could we do a similar thing with a static set of camera targets? And a static void. And then just do that. And then instead of setting it by the instance, just go like that. That might work. Right? That would work. Right? In this instance, there's only ever one set of camera targets. Yeah. Oh. Hang on, no. Has it? Oh, it's actually set me camera. Nice. I obviously have no control over the camera. But we're getting there. I think we can remove that component now. Lots and lots of big changes for this one. I don't think we're going to get it all done today. We'll see. I'll keep going until I can't anymore. Alright, so we're having our cameras set correctly. To the correct spot. I can't move yet. I can't turn. But the cameras are working. Okay, so okay. So generally the way that this works is the way we've had it working currently, where the player is its own object and the player controller sits on the player object with the, that we can move around and be the player. I'm thinking the way we do this now is the player object is a god. He hides under the map. He's down here. He's hiding down here. And then he just like projects his spirit into these things. So he's going to select a character. So the player itself so things like the inputs, the player inputs, the keyboards and stuff like that, there only needs to be one instance of that. I don't need to attach that every time to every enemy. Can I not just reference the enemy and keep that static? Right? So if we were to go reset this, and it was to essentially be the player. Alright. Player. And put it over here. Player is going to have control over Mutant 0. Here, the Mutant 0 is going to be the active character for the player. So the player script is going to be where a lot of this shit's at. So player stats is no longer going to be a thing. Well, maybe in some variation of it. So I'm thinking the parts we need now which is going to be something like this. Also, this player is, we got to deactivate it. And put that here. This is also a good opportunity for us to actually fix these action assets and stuff like that as well. So that could be something we do as well. Maybe this will sit on the enemy. I'm busting to pee again. I gotta go. I'll be back in a second. Alright, I'm back. Still no viewers in my 2.5 hours. We don't get any anymore. I used to get a few drop in every now and then when I first started doing these streams, but YouTube's just given up on even trying to show it to anyone, I think. I think it just sort of gave up. Hang on, I'm looking at other shit now. Oh, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. 8,673 views on that short. I just want to get 10,000. I've never got 5 digits before. That'll be very cool. But alright, so what I was thinking about while peeing, while playing with my wiener, the way these action assets are set up is, or like these input actions are set up, the way they're meant to be used, I imagine, is for something like, you know, you have a game like Grand Theft Auto, where most of the time you are controlling the character. It has just normal character inputs and controls. But sometimes you get in a car, and the car itself is going to have a completely different set of inputs and controls. And almost every car, if you've played GTA Online, one of the fucking catchphrases is, what's the jump, what's the boost button? You know? Which one's the boost button? Because every goddamn car, they've set it as a different boost button. You know, like, it's just... But that ability to set that uniqueness is valuable. You do want to be able to set different controls for different characters. So maybe this player input shouldn't be on the player. It should be on each of the mutants, or each of the different characters. If that makes sense. Each of the different potential characters, and in the same way that when I'm turning off AI, I can turn on player control. That is the plan. Also, I'm chopping up a little bit at the moment. That's what I'm doing. But yeah, so I think that would be better to have this specific component on the enemies. Are we getting there? I might actually end up getting this done. We're then going to have to set this up for every other enemy, including the original player. The original player is going to have to be modified significantly. Which is why I didn't start with that. I'm starting with the destination I want to have the player at, which is the state that I have the mutants in. Though I could have started with the foot soldier. That could have made sense too. But, no, each of these needs to be done in their own way and then modified slightly, so, you know, and then it allows for expandability. Like, every enemy we can create down the line is also going to have similar abilities, and I can't wait. I'm really excited for what this means. I can't communicate it. Oh, I hate that. I wish I could. One day I'm gonna get good at... Hey, why did I just put myself on the screen? God, here we go. Look, there's me. Look at me. There we go. At least now you know who's talking. I can't... Hang on, can I turn the camera up a little bit? A little bit. Gotta move my whole laptop upwards. There we go. Doesn't matter.